Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. But this is why I named you, headline. I know that the Esquire writes the headlines, but this is what every headline should take a lesson from. Nazi curious madman currently under indictment for 91 felonies gives speech. Thank you. That's the headline, right?
Yeah, and I want to give public credit to my editor. Has been the case ever since I went completely web-based. Another editor who's like half my age, but the great Kelly Stout down in New York,
Yeah.
decided that the simplest headline was the best.
Yeah. Charlie, it's what the soundbite I just played, that we are sleepwalking into authoritarianism, and we've had this conversation 100 times, but about how the media is wholly unprepared for what we face right now.
Either they don't want to face it or they're incapable of it. There's no other. There's nothing else I can see. I mean, these guys are already vetting people.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're already, running, background checks on future apparatchiks.
Also, they wrote it down, Project 2025. Yeah. So there's that. Speaking of which, you, as the official historian of the Stephanie Miller Show, I've just named you that.
Thank you.
You dragged my dad and Goldwater into this, so I have to bring it up. You talked about a speech that John F. Kennedy never got to give, but his prescience glows in the text. He was looking down the road at the wildness that was already out in the country. Barry Goldwater was warming up for the 1964 presidential election, and Kennedy saw what Goldwater was going to do to stir up the burgeoning right-wing ferocity. I did not even know all this, that this is the speech he never got to give.
That was the speech he was due to give at the Dallas Trade Mart, the luncheon speech he never got to, basically.
Yeah.
And the Kennedy Library has the text. And I was just floored by that one paragraph.
Yeah. Well, by the way, you did a fantastic...
All we can do is hope not enough people stop believing in nonsense.
Yeah. By the way, you did a fantastic podcast with Bob Seska about the JFK assassination.
I did. It was grassy Nola Palooza.
It was. Our friend Rob Reiner's doing one as well. We have to have him on about that. But, although, as I always say, my dad had to start every speech with what Barry meant to say was, but even Barry didn't say anything about vermin. You say the Post at least got the headline right. The New York Times spent all weekend fumbling around the clear intent of Trump's remarks. But you say this weekend was a threshold event. Talk to us about that, about what that means.
It was a threshold event for me. And I've been following, this guy's political career now for, God knows, 7-8 years.
Yeah.
But this was fine. I mean, I had all I can stand, and I can't stand no more.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy put a large neon sign on his forehead saying, "Fascist ahead, next exit."
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, though, we keep saying about it's not just him, it's the whole party. And you talk about Mitch McConnell has other priorities. He argued, he talked down in West Virginia, argued that Trump endorsing justice could knock Manchin out of the race and make the Democrat more likely to run for president. So, Mitch McConnell doing what he can to help the rise of fascism in America.
That guy has a Wolverine's instinct for power.
Yeah.
Say what you want about the whole morality of the thing. That's a shrewd political move.
Yeah, as usual.
Let's arrange things so Joe Manchin runs for president.
Yeah, yeah.
It's also called knowing your man.
Yeah.
Because, this is he knew exactly how Manchin was going to react.
Yeah. So as the official historian, when you write the history, it will be the people that enabled this madman. You write, "Congratulations, Senator. For your own private political purposes, you successfully treated a Nazi-curious madman currently under indictment for 91 felonies. You added another potential entry to the parade of third-party rat-effing clowns who care less about the former president's threat to American democracy. American conservatism, its partisan vehicle, is now a couple dozen armbands away from invading Poland, and it does not care. Here's the Republican chairperson on the question of whether or not he should be elected." And as I was saying, right, Ronald McDaniel, yep, fine if he's convicted.
I'm not going to comment on candidates' messages.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Monty Python skit about Mr. Hilter.
Yeah.
In the vacation home,
Yeah.
Mr. Hilter and Ron Ribbentrop and the rest of them is running for the by-election in North in I can't remember the name, Minehead, North Minehead.
Yeah.
By-election. It's right there. It's sitting right there in front of you.
Yeah.
Okay?
And Charlie,
on the yard sale of history, it's right there in the middle of the table.
I mean, I can't wrap my mind around the ego and narcissism and lack of patriotism it takes at this time in our history to mount a run for president that you have not a snowball's chance in hell of doing anything but electing Donald Trump, right?
Well, not, it's not some. Look, ego is as ego will do. I mean, the appearance of Jill Stein was the least surprising thing that's happened in a year and a half.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I look at people, frankly, like David Axelrod, who's out there weeping and moaning about Joe Biden's age.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And that's just as bad.
I know. I keep saying stop bedwetting. Anyway, your last nod to history. You said 60 years ago next week, John F. Kennedy planned to warn us all of the awful consequences to self-government unless people stop believing nonsense, and he never made it to lunch that day. Speaking of his enablers, you said the United States government runs out of money this week. It's Friday, right? Unless Congress gives the president something to sign to fix it, Speaker Mike Johnson has proposed exactly the kind of deal that got his predecessor fired. And have you ever heard of a laddered CR? How do they even come up with this nonsense?
Did you ever catch a really big fish and bring it into the boat? The first 5 minutes, all it does is flop around on the bottom of the boat. That's Mike Johnson right now.
Yeah. Yes. I mean,
he doesn't. He doesn't know whether to scratch his watch or wind his butt. He turns this way, and Matt Gaetz and Chip Roy are going to jump on him.
Yeah.
He turns this way, and he won't get five non-crazy Republican votes, and he's going to have to go to the Democrats, and that'll be the end of it.
Yeah. No. Exactly. The White House said,
and again. I give Hakeem Jeffries all the credit in the world, saying, "Hey, it's your problem, guys."
Yeah, I know. The White House said this proposal is just a recipe for more Republican chaos and more shutdowns, full stop, with just days left before an extreme Republican shutdown after shutting down Congress for 3 weeks after they ousted their own leader. House Republicans are wasting precious time with an unserious proposal that has been panned by members of both parties. Brian Schatz of Hawaii said we're going to pass a clean short-term CR. The only question is whether we do it stupidly and catastrophically or we do it like adults. There's nothing inherently conservative about making simple things super convoluted, and all of this nonsense costs taxpayers money. It's an idea only Republicans could come up with, right?
Oh, yeah, not only that, but Hawaii has a very underrated pair of senators.
Yes, I love Brian Schatz.
Yes.
I mean, Brian Schatz and Mazie.
Awesome.
Who don't take no bull.
Yeah, she likes to call bull. Yeah, I like that about her. Yeah, hang on, we have it.
But I mean, I don't know. I don't know who came up with the idea and why they thought it would work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
I know, and then I thought, are they going to kick him out for saying no impeachment or being a clean CR? I mean, it's just who knows with this clown show.
Well, yeah, I don't understand why his first act as Speaker was not to reform that stupid rule about one congressman being able to vacate the chair.
Yeah. Well, as the great Mazie Hirono would say.
That is such bull. I can hardly stand it.
There we go.
That's my point.
Exactly right, Mazie.
You also
be there, aloha.
You also tweeted the Supreme Court's new code of ethics is a lame attempt to turn off scrutiny of various justices' relationships with their various sugar daddies. Thank you. They all signed it, but my favorite story is that Elena Kagan wouldn't accept bagels from her high school friends. So it's not, both sides do it, right? It's this conservative justices.
I mean, Elena Kagan may be on the strict paleo. We don't know that. But in any event, no, there's no enforcement in this thing.
Right.
None.
Yeah.
It's basically a bunch of stuff you assumed that Supreme Court justices wouldn't do anyway as part of getting the gig.
Right.
Don't take favors. Don't rule on your friend on cases involving your friend. I mean, come on.
And by the way, this headline is all the more terrifying. Supreme Court under the gun to save the country from another January 6th, according to a law professor, as multiple states investigate. We're talking about the 14th Amendment thing now. One professor at political science at Yale implored the Supreme Court to jump into the fray as soon as possible because it could prevent another January 6th type rebellion. I don't have much confidence in this Supreme Court on anything. Do you?
No, I don't think it. I don't think it's the safety net we all thought we had once.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're depending basically on Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett as your two moderate judges.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, your swing bet, and you're also depending on John Roberts's, vaunted identity as a institutionalist, which is pretty flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
As we've seen.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's any. And there's not. You might be able to rely on the lower federal courts and even the state courts to an extent, but not the Supremes.
Yeah.
They may be there, they may not be, but you'd be foolish to make a plan on it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, with that sunny thought, we say adieu.
I was going to say, this is yet another happy segment.
Right.
I am Mr. Happy Fun Guy of the Stephanie Miller Show.
It's not a happy, clappy time in America. All right, love you, Charlie. Say goodbye to your red-haired lover.
Goodbye, my red-haired darling.
Goodbye, Charlie.